Are you a recent college graduate or someone that may be young and now you're out on your own supporting yourself? If so, I know that it can be terrifying, can be a little bit scary, but if you try to adopt good money habits and take control of your finances, then it will make life so much easier and it will alleviate a lot of stress. How do you do that? Listen up. My name is Stephen Kodabash, and I'm a realtor located in the northern Atlanta area, and I get to help people buy and sell houses every day. If you've been following my channel, you know that I talk about real estate all the time, right? Well, now I'm going to kind of veer off that path, and I want to speak to those folks that have recently graduated from college, or maybe you're out on your own for the very first time, and maybe you're lost, especially when it comes to finances. What do I do to take control of my money and to alleviate stress? Because I completely understand. I was there at one point in time. I was in my early 20s. I just graduated from Georgia Tech, and I was all on my own, right? It was completely up to me to provide for myself. I'll tell you, if you start creating some good spending habits, and if you can budget and just be fiscally responsible young, right, on the younger side of things, then it helps to carry you into your 30s and 40s, because if you get into those habits early, then they'll hopefully stick to you, and then later in life, it will make things a lot easier. I'll give you one quick example as a side note. So when I first started working in my early 20s, when I got that first full-time job out of college, we had the opportunity to invest in a 401k, right? So the company matched a little bit, and then we could also contribute a little from each paycheck into a 401k. So starting with my very first paycheck, even though I was probably 22, 23 years old at the time, I believe it was 6%. I took 6% out. I had the company deduct that off of my gross income, and it went into a 401k. And even though I was so young, I was in my early 20s, and obviously retirement, it was way down the road, right? Sometime in my 60s, 70, whatever it ends up being. But the point is, I was so far away from that, but I knew in my mind, I said, hey, look, if I can take this money, set it aside now, start doing it right off the bat, then hey, guess what? I'm not gonna miss that money because I never really had it in the first place. You can kind of look at it that way. It would have been harder if I would have not done it early, and then let's say a year or two later, then I tried to take the money out. I did it right off the bat. So if you have an opportunity to invest in a 401k, do it now and do it early. First tip to take control of your finances is aim to live within your means. So what the heck does that mean? That means ideally you should spend a certain amount of money, you should make a certain amount of money, and you should save the rest. So you should not spend all of your money every single month or every week, however you get paid. Don't do that. You have an income, you spend a little bit, and then you save the rest. Because guess what? One day you're gonna have an expense pop up that you're not budgeting for, right? It's something that could come completely out of the blue. For example, maybe you blow a tire and you've got to get one new tire for your car, and that's something, that could be a couple $100 that you pull out of that savings. So just make sure that you aim to live within your means. So don't look at your friends and see what they're spending their money on, because hey, guess what? We all make different amounts of money, right? Our incomes are different. So don't compare your life to others. Just look at what you make, and then look at your expenses, and then just be smart and budget and aim to live within your means. Hey, do me a favor and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you. Number 2, use some kind of tool to create a budget. And you could put it in Excel, right? Most of us have access to Microsoft Excel or some kind of spreadsheet. Put it in a spreadsheet, but the point is write it down, right? Write it down. Put it somewhere where you can see it, and you can come back to it every week or every month and hold yourself accountable to that budget. Take a look at your income, take a look at those expenses, and look at where you're spending your money. You might be spending money on things that, now I get it, I'm not saying don't have fun and things like that, because we all do that and we all spend money on fun things, but don't be excessive. right? Don't do it so much that it makes you essentially be negative every single month. In other words, you're spending more than you're bringing in. So don't do that. Take a look at those things you're spending your money on and ask yourself, hey, did I need to spend money there, or could I trim back in this area and maybe save a little more money? But put a budget on a piece of paper or put it in a spreadsheet so that way you can go back and reference it later. Third piece of advice for you is don't count on money that you don't have yet. What I mean by that is your employer could say, hey, yes, a bonus is probably coming at the end of this quarter. Or a family member might say, hey, yes, I might give you some cash for your birthday or whatever. Or your employer might say, hey, reviews are coming up in 6 months and we might be giving you a raise. So even though this all sounds great, right, that future money could be coming in, don't count on it until you actually get it. Because I've seen people, they have in their minds that they're going to get some money, sometime down the road. And guess what? Sometimes it doesn't materialize, but hey, they've already spent that money. Maybe they put some money on a credit card thinking, hey, yeah, I'll get the money in 2-3 months or whatever, and I'll just pay it off. But sometimes that money doesn't come. So don't count on it, don't bank on it until you actually see it in your bank account. So tip number 4, spend a little for a lot of protection. I'm talking about health insurance, guys. When you're young, a lot of us feel invincible, right? You might be invincible if you're in your 20s or whatever you think you are, right? You think you're invincible. Well, hey, guess what? Things can happen. Accidents can pop up. So if it's just you don't have a family or anything or anyone else you've got to pay health insurance for. If it's just you, one person, it's affordable. If you've got an employer that provides a health insurance plan, then it would be affordable for you. And sure, it might cost you, I forgot what it cost me back in the days, and I know things have gone up since then, but let's just say it's $200-300. I don't know what it is right now, but you spend a little bit and you have that protection in place, because if an accident were to occur and you got severely injured, you have to go to the hospital, God forbid you got to have a surgery or something like that. We're talking thousands and thousands of dollars if you don't have health insurance and you don't protect yourself in that manner. So spend a little on health insurance to give yourself a lot of protection. Number 5, some people like to go crazy with credit cards. Some people love to take out numerous credit cards, and it makes life hairy, right? It makes things tough to track. Where am I spending my money? How much is on this credit card? How much is on that credit card? My advice is to keep it simple. Keep things super simple. At most, have a couple credit cards. Have 2. Okay? At most, have 2 credit cards. And also, pay those credit cards off every single month, because if you don't, you'll find yourself racking up interest charges, and then you're trying to climb out of a hole. And it could get so bad that you're only paying interest every month on that balance, which is a terrible situation to get into. So keep it simple. Only have 1 or 2 credit cards and pay those things off every single month, and it will alleviate a lot of stress for you. Hey, before you hop off my channel, do me a favor. I published a video where I talk about house hunting tips. So if you're about to jump into the market to buy a home, check out that video next, and it'll give you some tips to steer you in the right direction so you end up with that perfect home for you. Hey, it's tough to grow up, become an adult, get out of school or get out of wherever you were and go out on your own. There are lots of things that go through your head, and I know life's not easy. It's tough. There are lots of things going on, but I'll tell you, if you can get a hold of your finances and budget properly, then it really helps to simplify things in your life. So if you fall into this category, I hope this video has helped you out. And if we tie it into real estate a little bit, hey, look, if you can be fiscally responsible, save some money, work hard, and then one day, hey, you'll get to buy a house. I know when I first got out of school and I was out on my own, I rented for a little while, right? I rented an apartment with a roommate. for a bit, saved some money, and then eventually was able to purchase my own house along with my wife. So anyways, just be responsible with your money is what I'm asking you to do. So I know you can do it. It just takes some discipline. If you have any questions at all about any of this, feel free to comment, and I will talk to you later on the next video.